Hi campers and glampers. This is where you'll learn how to turn boring camping intense to intense glamping. Please don't buy another family tent until you watch this. One of the biggest questions I get is, hey Ken, what is the absolute best family tent in the world? In this video, I'm going to share with you the coolest tent using the hottest technologies. Now I buy a new family tent about every 5 to 6 months, one in the spring and one in the fall. I know that sounds crazy, but I have a passion for tents and camping, and we use different ones when we go to different kinds of campsites and different kinds of glamping. And besides, buying and using different tents allows me to share with you the latest and greatest features, functions, and technology. This video is about the second Polis tent I bought a couple of years ago and what makes it so amazing on so many levels. Now, please don't go out and buy another tent until you watch this. Make sure sign up for our blogs and content and exclusive materials and read about the largest innovation in tents and gear at our website, InTentsGlampingUSA.com, INTENTS, glampingusa.com. If you're family camping with a tent that has metal poles, then you're actually camping like it's the 1980s. Well, stop camping like that. It's boring and it's old-fashioned, and your kids may not think you're cool. The newest tents don't use metal poles that can bend, break, or snap. They use air. They're inflatable. They use air tubes. These new inflatable tents have changed our family camping forever, and I'm confident these Polis inflatable air tents will change how you family camp too. Hi, I'm Ken Billingsley, and I'm so excited to share with you the hottest trend in family camping by showing you the coolest tents in the world. If you're new to this channel, please hit subscribe, leave questions, and let me know what you want to know more about or see more of in videos. Also, please make sure to go to our website and subscribe to our blogs, exclusive content, and links to get the most and coolest gear from around the world at the lowest prices. At the end of this video, I'm going to cover the biggest mistakes that people make when deciding on their next family tent, whether it's an air tent or an old-fashioned metal pole tent. Now, I own many tents from some of the largest manufacturers in America, so I own some great gear. However, a few years ago, after my son started to get into scouts, I did a ton of research, and I ended up buying my first inflatable tent, a Van Gogh Capri 600 XL. Well, we absolutely love this tent. And our friends fell in love with it too, and they bought a smaller version when they got back from camping with us. That tent is for 6 people. And it's a big tent. It's about 13 feet by 26 feet, has 5 air beams, and 3 zones. There's a whole video on my channel about that tent, how we staged it, and the theme that we used. So please watch that video and learn about those larger tents. A few years back, I was taking my son on a Cub Scout camp trip, and I knew I had to have an inflatable tent, but the Van Gogh was too big. I did a ton of research and found this tent, the Campack Air Breen 3. It's perfect for that short weekend scout trip where the footprint might be tight, or you just have one person, or maybe a couple with kids. It's a perfect tent. And I want to give you an overview of this tent from an outside walk around, an inside look in, and then a night view of what it looks like when it's all lit up. It's just beautiful. This is the Campa Green Air 3 with canopy. The front has a folding chair. The door is closed right now, but you can see the 2 windows. We have a GCI foldable table out here working as a coffee station. Two of our glamping chairs. The canopy extends about 5 feet out from the regular eyebrow canopy. And here's the side window with the curtain halfway up, so you can literally see through the tent. The mesh door on the other side. See inside the tent, one of the folding chairs with one of the light strands. This is a ventilation area
The mesh door on the other side to let the air go through. Right now the sleeping area is all closed up. You can see in there. Last night the winds got up to about 35, maybe 40 miles an hour wind gusts, and the tent was incredibly stable due to all of the guy lines that have been put up. The tent probably took about 15-20 minutes the first time to put up, and that's including the guy lines. Inflating the tent was just a matter of minutes. There's only 3 air tubes. There's a metal pole for the eyebrow, and then there's a metal pole for the extended canopy. The canopy is optional, so the normal tent only comes out about 2.5 feet and then goes back into the side of the tent. This is the back side of the Campa Green 3-air tent. There's a full mesh door on the side, and it actually covers up. I've got the door rolled back except for the mesh. It's 2 parts. And this is the ventilation in the back that's pulled up from the tent. You can stake that completely down so there's little ventilation or little air that's real cold, or tie it up higher depending on what your needs are. This is the Campa Green Air 3, and it's a wonderful tent. This is the Campa Green 3 Air. It's a European tent. It's inflatable. It doesn't have poles on the majority of the tent itself. It has air beams. There is a small pole for the canopy, and there is a pole for this extended canopy out front. But this gives you a sense of what it looks like coming into the tent. Here's a window on the left. There's a window on the right that has full curtains or half curtains. There is a window on the left. This half the curtain is up right now. It can be toggled all the way up or all the way down. There is now a place for ventilation that can be also toggled or just closed in, as I'm doing right now, to let air go through. This is the sleeping chamber back here. It's closed up right now, but it does have ventilation through the mesh. It can be completely closed off. It is a separate or inner tent, and you can see I have string light, rope light connected to it. To these little Velcro channels, you can run cables. And then there's a full mesh door over on the side. Actually have a chair right here next to it with one of our log cushions. It has a full door, 2-part, that can be sealed up completely or be used. This is the Campa Green 3-air, 3-person tent, inflatable. It's our small glamping tent. It's about 7 feet by 11 feet, or 7 feet by 16 feet with this extended canopy. It's the Campa Green 3-air. Everything is opened up at this point, so now we're going to walk inside, and you can see from the front entrance there is a ground cloth as well as a mat to step on before you walk in. The windows are clear at this point. Now this has the canopy on it, so there's a place to store firewood or gear or whatever to keep it out of the rain. Put chairs on the sides, or you could put the cooking table out here and actually cook your meals if you're not using the fireplace. So as we walk in, you can see through the crystal clear windows. They do have curtains, as you can see on the other videos. As you step in, there's actually now a rug to catch any remaining dirt or things that might be drug in. We always recommend that you put your shoes outside the tent. Do check them for creepy crawlers in the morning. In this configuration, I have the kitchen cooking table configured so that it has the top shelves up, And we have an electric cooler right here, so we don't need ice. Fan down there, more lights. We have the window open in this case. Now we move back here to the bedroom. In this case, I've got a LED light rope positioned for at night to provide reading light or just entrance light so you can move around. In the Campa, as well as most glamping tents using a tunnel design, there's a separated inner sleeping area. This is something that is actually toggled up right behind the air beams. This is a 3 air beam tent, and it also happens to be a 3-person tent. This inner tent part can be toggled out completely. You don't have to use that, but what you get is this ultra dark black mesh as part of the separated sleeping chamber that allows you to sleep in the morning. It's interesting, this morning I actually had to look at my watch to figure out what time it was because I couldn't see from the light if it was in the morning or not, if the sun had come out. Now in this case, this configuration, this is a 3-person tent, so you can put 3 sleeping bags in here. We are using, because we just have 2 people sleeping on this particular camp out, we're using an inflatable couch with just one extra section blown up and one section not inflated, and then we have these sleeping bags going across, and as you can see, it creates a real nice protection back here. You can hear the campers, they're leaving this morning, so they're a little rowdy. And you can move across this way and sleep next to each other. It makes a wonderful air mattress, and then if we wanted to, we could bring this couch out and put it in the living section, or even put it outside, put it around the campfire if you wanted to. But this offers a nice sleeping zone, and then when it's completely zipped up, you can zip up the mesh, or you can close the mesh at the top, and just wonderful, quiet sleeping area, very dark, and very glamping-esque. Highly recommend this tent. I recommend configurations. Let me move to the right side real quick. Here is the mesh door. There's 2 doors on this tent, which make it really nice. This one's a 2-part mesh door. If you want a lot of air and breeze at night or during the day, you can just have the mesh part open. There's venting on all 4 sides of this tent. There's venting at the top, and there's venting on the side over here. But as I come across, nice configuration. It's about 5 by 7 foot living space, and you can have a chair in here, or a couple of chairs and a table. But this is now looking from the inside out. As you move back here inside the sleeping chamber, it gets very dark, really nice and quiet. It's just a wonderful camping experience. With the windows on the European tents, you have a nice visual of what's going on the campsite, to be able to look around and see what's going on out there. And of course, all windows have curtains and the doors seal up so you can have complete privacy. This is the Breen 3 Air without the canopy on the front, so it's just the eyebrow. It has the door rolled back, the mesh door zippered. You can see the windows. The front door is toggled back. Window on the left and right side, as you can see in. I now have the kitchen coffee station set up for the adults as they come by. We're actually cooking at the fireplace. Windows, curtains are down, ventilation is up. This is the inner tent. Mesh window, carpeting, LED light. So we move to the side. You can see in. There's full curtains on all the windows and the doors, in case you want complete privacy. But that is the Breen 3 Air without the optional canopy on the front. This is the Campa Green Air with everything closed up. The door closed, the curtains closed up. Window on the side closed. Now the vent is open in this case. The curtain is up. This particular case we've got it set up for a coffee station for the adults. This is the Campack Air Breen 3 inflatable tent at night. This is with the canopy on the tent, and over here we have our glamping chairs as we're sitting outside. This is the front part with the luminous lights on inside the tent. They are on bright right now. That gives you some sense of how bright they are. Moving over here to the side, coming in. This is the window in the tent, and I have the curtain about halfway up on the window. You can see through and see one of the chairs inside the living area, and back in here is the sleep zone. This is the Campack Air Breen at night with the lights on. It gives you a great sense of how beautiful it is and how it just lights up in the night. Camping is over, it's time to go home, so one of the first things to do, if it's not raining and the weather's nice, is go ahead and pull everything out of the tent. Set your stuff up on the side, and then what you want to do in this case, we're going to deflate the air mattress and roll it up, roll the carpeting up, get everything out of the tent, make sure, go back and then not close all the doors completely, leave a little bit of space so that air can get out. But this is moving day and it's time to go. Great time. Cub Scouts, killing it. S'mores, the whole works, everything. Spooky stories, turkey burgers, regular burgers, big breakfast, lots of fun, probably too much sugar, but hey, you're only a Cub Scout for a few years.
As promised, I want to share with you the biggest mistake people make when buying a family tent. Most campers believe that America offers the best tents from the retailers and resellers, so they can only buy what's available here. Well, I got to tell you, my last 4 tents, and probably my next 10 tents, will come from Europe. The Europeans are about 10 years to 15 years ahead of the American manufacturers in regards to tent technology. Europeans have been spending the last decade testing, innovating, trying new technologies to manufacture these amazing air tents. In addition, they own many of the patents on these tents, which means other manufacturers won't be able to duplicate the kind of technology they're using. So what do you do if you want an amazing air tent and you know you're going to have to get it from Europe? Well, you could go do what I did years ago. Contact the manufacturers, communicate with the distributors, and buy things from different resellers in Europe to eventually figure out who has the best assortment, the best prices, the best service, the best shipping, and all that. Well, that took me about 12 months. Look, I've done all that for you. There are links on our website and pop-up windows that will actually provide direct links to the best tents, best deals, and best shipping coming out of Europe, out of the UK. It's the same place where I buy my tents and a lot of my gear. In addition, there are links to American resellers for things besides air tents, such as gear and equipment. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to the channel and leave questions and comments on what you want to know more about. And join our community at InTentsGlampingUSA.com for content, deals, and exclusive information. And remember, this site is taking camping intents to intense glamping.